MuleSoft API Lifecycle. Here you can see MuleSoft API cycle. MuleSoft API cycle tells us how effectively and efficiently we can use MuleSoft Anypoint platform while going through different stages of API lifecycle. Anypoint platform provides us all the required tools and features to develop and maintain the APIs within organization. Here is the lifecycle which MuleSoft suggests. API lifecycle start with the requirement where a team or organization come up with their business need for integration. MuleSoft development team analyze the requirement, come up with the proper implementation architecture. MuleSoft suggests API-led approach for implementation. Assuming all requirements are clear and required documents like high-level design, service-level design, and mappings sheets are already created for the API. Here are the different phases in API lifecycle. Design. API designer. It is a web-based tool to design APIs, REST interfaces or specification as per the requirement. While creating the interface, it will validate the interface for any syntax error and highlight the same. It also shows the tab to validate the interface where it shows the mock interface. Prototype, flow designer. It is a web-based tool to implement the actual API without using the Anypoint Studio. This is helpful when we have to create a small box and have to validate implementation logic. It's a part of Design Center only. Mock service. It is again one of the feature in Design Center through which we can quickly validate the API specification. This only provides the mock API without any actual implementation, and the developer can validate the request and the response of API. Validate API console. This is used to validate the API specifications, different vendors or clients. Whenever code is generated in the Anypoint Studio using RAML, then the default API console code is also generated. API console only comes when Mule application is deployed on a Mule runtime. Advantage of API console is it can be shared outside the organization and the client don't need to access Anypoint platform to validate the same. This is a recursive process where we keep on validating an RAML design specification with client or vendors, and based on the feedback, either we again follow the process RAML design to mock service design to validate, or move ahead with the development. When we receive the positive feedback from the client or vendor, we move to develop and testing phase. Develop. To start with the development, Mule provide an Anypoint Studio, which is an IDE for developing and testing Mule applications. It provides the feature through which it can directly download the API specification RAML from Design Center and create a base Mule application. Testing. Anypoint Studio also come with the local Mule runtime on which we can run the Mule application and validate the same. It run in the debug mode as well. This is really helpful in debugging. MUnit framework also comes with Anypoint Studio, which is similar to JUnit and help the developer to verify internal logic. Deploy. Runtime Manager. Runtime Manager is available in Anypoint platform and used to manage the Mule runtimes. Mule runtime is an engine or container in which the Mule applications are deployed and run. This can be on-premise or cloud hub Mule runtime and configured in runtime manager accordingly. Operate API manager is again available on Anypoint platform. It is an API management tool using which the organization can secure and restrict the access on APIs. It provide out-of-box policies and policies creation in which can be applied on different APIs. Anypoint analytics. It is a feature available in API Manager, and it provides useful information on how APIs are accessed. This is similar to Google Analytics and provide information like request by date, the line chart that shows the number of requests for all API in your organization, request by location. Map chart shows that the number of requests for each country or of origin. Request by application, bar chart that shows the number of requests from each of the top 5 registered application. Request by platform, ring chart that shows the number of requests broken down by platform. Publish API portal. It's a portal used by the other developer to access the different API available within the organization. Portal includes the API related documentation, tutorials, use case, and examples. This is helpful. This is quite helpful to understand API usage. API portal can be public available on the internet or private accessible within organization. Anypoint exchange. It is available in Anypoint platform, which can be used for API discovery. Within organization, different development teams can access API exchange for getting required APIs. Once APIs are developed in organization, it's published on API exchange as assets so that other team can utilize APIs as per their needs. This promotes API reusability within the organization. For example, product management related to APIs can be reused by different development teams with the organization. API lifecycle will not stop here and again go into next iteration based on the feedback. For example, existing product management APIs are not capable enough to handle customized products. So based on how new requirements on a new set of API version is created, which will follow its own lifecycle. Here you can see a deploy. Here you can see the application runtime manager and operate, and it's interact with the API manager. Operate is connected to publish and operate also interacts with the Anypoint analytics. Operate is connected to publish. Publish interacts with the API portals and Anypoint exchange, and then next stage is feedback. Feedback interacts with Anypoint exchange. Then it's connected to design. Design interacts. It interacts with API designer, and design is connected to prototype, which interacts with flow designer and mocking service. Prototype interacts with the is connected to validate. It interacts with the API console, and then here you can see the develop. It's connected to Anypoint Studio, and develop is connected to develop interacts with the Anypoint Studio, and develop is connected to test. Test interacts with Immunit, and test is connected to developed. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.